Rifle, Colorado sits along the Colorado River in Garfield County, surrounded by mesas, rolling hills, and the rugged beauty of the western slope. Today, it is known as a quiet but growing community, but its story reflects something much larger, the story of the American West. Long before the town of Rifle existed, this land was home to indigenous peoples, most notably the Ute tribes. For generations, the Utes traveled through these river valleys and plateaus. They hunted game, gathered plants, and relied on the Colorado River as a lifeline for water and movement. Their knowledge of the land allowed them to survive and thrive in a challenging environment. That way of life began to disappear in the late 19th century, when federal policies and conflicts forced Ute tribes from much of western Colorado. The land was open to settlers, and the frontier moved in. The modern story of Rifle begins in the 1880s. In 1882, settlers established a town near the mouth of Rifle Creek, where it meets the Colorado River. The town's name comes from a piece of local folklore. According to legend, a rifle was lost during a hunting trip near the creek. Later, it was found leaning against a tree. The story stuck, and so did the name. Early settlers came for the land and the water. Ranching and agriculture quickly became the backbone of life in Rifle. Families raised cattle and sheep, grew hay and crops, and endured long winters in isolation. Life was hard. Self-reliance wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. One of the most important moments in Rifle's early history came with the railroad. In the late 1880s, the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad reached Rifle. Suddenly, the town was connected to the outside world. Goods arrived, people followed, businesses opened. Rifle was no longer just a remote settlement, it was becoming a permanent community. By the early 20th century, Rifle was deeply shaped by ranching culture and Western traditions. Rodeos, cattle drives, and horse training were a way of life. That legacy continues today through the Rifle Rodeo, one of the oldest rodeos in Colorado, still celebrating the town's cowboy heritage. The mid-20th century brought more change. As highways replaced railroads, Rifle adapted once again. The construction of Interstate 70 in the 1960s connected the town to Glenwood Springs, Grand Junction, and beyond. Travel became easier. Growth followed. Energy development would shape Rifle's modern identity. Natural gas, coal, and oil shale brought jobs and opportunity. Booms filled the town with workers and families. But busts followed. Oil shale projects were canceled. Jobs disappeared. Many communities struggled. Rifle endured. In the decades that followed, Rifle rebuilt and diversified. Outdoor recreation, parks, and public spaces became part of daily life. Rifle Falls State Park and Rifle Mountain Park drew visitors from around the world, showcasing the area's natural beauty. Today, Rifle stands at a crossroads of past and future. It honors its ranching roots and Western identity while welcoming new generations. The Colorado River still flows through town, just as it did centuries ago. Rifle's history is more than the story of one town. It is a story of land and water, of opportunity and hardship, of tradition and change. From indigenous pathways to railroad tracks, from cattle trails to interstate highways, Rifle, Colorado remains a living record of the American frontier.